What's up guys, and welcome to FPL Today. I'm your host JNO, welcome to the channel and welcome to some of the talking points from Game Week 11 moving into Game Week 12. Hopefully we can go over these points and consider our options for Game Week 12 and after the international break and get that highest FPL rank possible. But before we get into the video, if this is something you want in your subscription box, consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're told when my videos go live, and also check out the links in the description down below where you can find various ways to support the channel, as well as the limited edition FPL Today merchandise store, which is only available until we hit 10k, so go check that out. So let's get into the talking points video, and today we are going to discuss the midfielders that could be vital to our FPL season. Now recently there's been a bunch of midfielders really hitting the headlines with some great performances that aren't exactly expensive midfielders, and I think it's about time I overlooked all of the options and try and figure out which one is the best one to go for. Now I'm going to ignore fixtures for this video and just look at their current form over the last 4 game weeks, and hopefully we can decide whether that player is a must own or not. And we're going to start with Richarlison at 6.8 million at the time of recording this video. Now, the last time I saw Richarlison was against Brighton Hove Albion, and he was very good in that game. To be honest, he looked very assured, very confident, very ready to hit the ground running for the rest of the season, which, to be honest, I have admittedly said Richarlison is a trap for a while now, saying his underlying stats suggest he will not continue to score in the manner that he did at the start of the season. And then when he got moved to striker initially, I didn't like how it seemed to affect his game. But against Brighton Hove Albion, and let's be honest, Brighton Hove Albion defensively aren't the best, although they have kept 3 clean sheets recently, they still conceded lots of shots on their goal. Brighton Hove Albion was a nice fixture for Richarlison to really show up in. But 15 points in Game Week 11 is still nothing to shake your head at, and the underlying stats support a player that is in form. And if he can continue to play up front like he did against Brighton Hove Albion, then Richarlison at 6.8 million is definitely one to consider. He got 2 goals and 3 bonus points from 9 penalty area touches, 4 attempts on goal, 4 from inside the box, 2 on target, 1 big chance, and created a chance for his teammate as well. And to be honest, the 2 goals he did finish, both were assured finishes, very calmly taken, and I'm very impressed with how he played against Brighton. The downside is, if we look at the previous 3 game weeks against Leicester, Crystal Palace and Man United, while he did get points, 7 points against Leicester and 5 against Man United, the underlying stats aren't quite as good as they were against Brighton Hove Albion. 3 penalty area touches against Man United, 7 against Palace, however he got nothing against Palace, and 4 against Leicester. Attempts 1 in both Leicester and Crystal Palace games, and then only 2 in the Manchester United game. No shots on target against Crystal Palace, who aren't exactly the best side right now either. So those kind of performances in the game weeks prior to this one did have me a little bit worried about him. But if this is a sign of things to come with Richarlison, then he could be a very, very important player and probably part of the FPL template if he continues that current form. If we look at the last 4 game weeks, points, he's got 30 in the last 4 game weeks, most of that bumped up by the Brighton Hove Albion game. He is an assured starter, 360 minutes played from 360. He is joint second for goals from midfielders in the last 4 game weeks with 3. Penalty area touches, 23, that puts him 6th for midfielders in the league from the last 4 game weeks. 7 shots from inside the box puts him joint 5th. 4 shots on target isn't as good as we'd like, puts him joint 8th. And then big chances, he's joint 6th with 2. So the only stat he actually stands out in is goals scored. He's joint 2nd with 3. So still, that underlying stats thing is a little bit of a worry for me, but nowhere near as much as it was when I initially said Richarlison was a trap. We move on to the next midfielder I'm considering, and it's Anthony Martial. A little bit more expensive at 7.4 million than Richarlison. However, he has just not stopped scoring, which is especially painful, as I also called Anthony Martial a trap, but I'll try and discuss that as we move on. But so far, he has managed to get double-figure hauls in 3 out of the 4 previous game weeks. He's got 13 points against Newcastle, 15 against Chelsea. Everton, he got 9, and then Bournemouth, he managed to get 10. He is actually an assured starter in the last 4 game weeks as well. Only been substituted off against Chelsea in the 83rd minute, but he played all 90 minutes in the other 3 games. And as the time has gone on, as these game weeks have gone on, his underlying stats have improved, which means I'm starting to think that he could keep this form up as long as Mourinho and him don't have a falling out. Now, 5 goals for a midfielder in the league is joint top in the last 4 game weeks, and you can see a lot of his underlying stats are first. Penalty area touches 32 in the last 4 game weeks, and shots on target, he's joint first with 8. So he's looking very, very good. I still am not 100% sold on the Man United side. They definitely start way too slow. Bournemouth could have had more goals in that fixture on game week 11, but in game week 11 he had 11 penalty area touches, 4 attempts on goal, 3 from inside the box, 2 on target, and created 2 big chances. That is another plus on Martial's side. He is creating chances for his teammates, creating a big chance against Chelsea, 3 chances against Newcastle, and 4 against Everton. So I do like the look of Martial now, despite what I said earlier. Just in that Newcastle game, 1 attempt on goal from inside the box and it was on target. That is the kind of stat that puts me off, because ideally you want them having 3 attempts, 4 attempts, which he did against Everton and Bournemouth, but against Chelsea he only had 2, and against Newcastle he only had 1. So I'm hoping if this trend continues and he keeps improving those underlying stats, there is no reason not to have Anthony Martial. And then the third one we're going to discuss is one that is probably a little bit outside the box, but he had a great game week 11. It was against Burnley though. Burnley, again, one of those sides that they're accommodating to their opponents. He got 13 points against Burnley, and it's Felipe Anderson. Felipe Anderson has shown some great promise as an FPL option, but hasn't really delivered on those points until game week 11, when he got 2 goals and 2 bonus points. Now, his underlying stats in the game weeks beforehand weren't great. I'm hoping he's now turned a corner and he becomes the important man at West Ham that everyone was hoping he'd be. He's actually not played full 90 minutes in game week 9 or 10, and he only got 2 points, 1 point and 3 points in fixtures against Brighton Hove Albion, Tottenham and Leicester. But against Burnley is the kind of performance I wanted to see from him. 5 penalty area touches, 5 attempts on goal, 4 from inside the box, 3 on target, 2 big chances. 2 chances created and 1 big chance created. And in the last 4 game weeks, 318 minutes played, 2 goals, penalty area touches at 12, 8 attempts on goal, 5 from inside the box. He's joint 8th with 4 shots on target in the last 4 game weeks, and joint 6th with 2 big chances in the last 4 game weeks, with 9 chances created as well for his teammates, with 2 big chances in those last 4 game weeks. So he looks like a player that could have assists and goals to his name if he does continue this form. And then if we compare the mids all against each other, I have added Maddison to this because I know a lot of people have Maddison because of the fixtures. And we can see that Martial is clearly head and shoulders above the rest with points, 47, Richarlison being the closest with 30, Anderson on 19, Maddison being very disappointing with no returns recently at 9. Minutes played, again, Richarlison is the one that is the most assured starter with the most minutes played. Goals scored, Martial comes out on top in this one, with Richarlison only just beating Felipe Anderson after his game week 11. Bonus points as well, you're looking at Martial easily head and shoulders above the rest. Penalty area touches, again Martial. Attempts on goal, Martial, but only just above Felipe Anderson and Richarlison. Shots from inside the box is actually equal between Martial and Richarlison with 5 each, as well as Anderson getting 5 shots on goal. And then shots on target, Martial is top, but Anderson actually matches Richarlison for shots on target, 4 each. As far as big chances, they are all equal with 2 big chances each. Chances created, that's where Richarlison drops off compared to Anderson and Martial. Anderson and Martial both have 9, whereas Richarlison drops off with 3. This is the area where Maddison stands out though, with 11 chances created. If his teammates could just put some of these chances away, Maddison's point total would improve. And then big chances, Richarlison again, only 1 big chance compared to the 2 for Martial and Anderson. So I guess what I'm saying in wrap up to this is, if Martial continues this form and doesn't have a Barney with Jose Mourinho, then Martial is the best option. If you can't quite afford over 7 million, I would be tempted with the fixtures to maybe take a punt on Anderson, but Richarlison is the safe bet as far as who owns him, who you might want to make sure you don't fall too far behind. And then Maddison, the underlying stats are there, just the points aren't. And with the fixtures the way they are, I'd probably hold him for now and just see how things go moving forward. Anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's been an in-depth insight into my thoughts on these 4 midfielders. Hopefully it helps you make any transfer decisions you need to make, or backs up the decision you've already made. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button and share my content out to anyone on Twitter. That seems to be where most of the FPL community are. And also check out all the links in the description down below, including the merchandise store if you want any FPL Today merchandise. Christmas is just around the corner. Can't believe I'm already saying that. It's only November. That being said, I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today. And remember, it's all about the game.